Bullshit, I can't hear you. Sound off like you got a pair.
I'm back, baby.
Hey, Euler, what's up, dude? Hey, Potion. Meow. Meow. What's new? Not much, man. Had a very chill day today. I have been feeling kind of like really stressed and run down. Not bad stress, but just not enough time to breathe stress because of stuff going on. And yeah, I checked out my sleep tracker data. And I believe the professional term is I am beat. Yes. B-E-E-T. Beat. Yeah, there we go. Looking sharp. I tweaked the green screen a little bit. We don't see tears in the fabric of reality right about meow. Excellent. What's up, everybody? Yeah, I checked my sleep tracker today, and I have never seen this before, but it said I've got 13 hours of sleep debt. I'm like, ooh, oh my. So to put that in perspective, I normally sleep about 7 hours a night. I'd have to sleep 9 hours a night for 5 days to fix that. I was like, that's suboptimal. That's what that is. Anyway, so yeah, today was a rather chill out day. I actually smoked some ribs, smoked, what is it? Some chicken legs. That's it. Yeah, I had the chillest of days today. Ooh, what is this? Hang on one second. One of my buddies just sent me something. I think he was working on a reverse engineering challenge. I think he just cracked it. He sent me something. Sorry, got distracted by Shiny. Anyway, so yeah, that's about what I did today. I went to church, went and saw my mom, smoked some ribs and some chicken drumsticks, and they were badass. And then I played some Slay the Spire and took like a 2-hour nap. So yeah, that was about it. And now I hopped on here. I was like, all right, cool. I've done everything else. Let's do some hacking now. I cannot help but, so Potion, I cannot see the term shiny hunters without thinking about that crab character from Moana. And I only saw Moana like one time, but I remember that damn crab. And he sings something about he sings a song about being shiny. That's all I can think about when I hear the name. Now I can't unsee that. You're welcome. I was cursed with the knowledge, and now you are too. Let's see. So yesterday, we were still working on what to do. What is this? What are we working on? We're working on trying to potentially Privesk LXO1. That's what we were trying to do. Let's go look at something really quick. I want to look in the temp directory again, because we saw Kerberos tickets in there. Okay, so that one's for Sunfire. This was for these two. What I was thinking about, there's a couple of things we were taking a look at last night. There's some weird artifacts in the lab with the way the lab deployed. So we're trying to make sure we don't use one of those. Hey, see, what's that? Clear? I'm gonna go with Clear. Hey, Clear, what's going on, man? Welcome in. So we're just doing a little bit of what is this? Game of Active Directory, but not the regular Game of Active Directory. This is a specialized one called Dracarys. So, clear box. Okay, got it, man. I hope you're having a fantastic Sunday. Welcome in. So, yeah, what we were doing last night is, I showed how the Foothold got to cracking GLPI, getting that domain password so we could get onto the Linux box. We also took a Bloodhound dump. But now we're trying to see, like, can we get to Viserion? That's what we're looking at right here. So Viserion is Let me see if I can find the cipher query to do with this. Let me think. Well, it doesn't matter. He's a member of... Actually, here, let's do this. Go from Linux users to Vagar. Let me pull that up. If I can spell it right. There we go. Vagar. What do you mean, no path found? There is a path. You're killing me, Smalls. Anyway. Well, it's not the kind of path that it thinks there is. So, Linux users here has... it's got two members. Sunfire, who we already compromised, and Viserion, right? So, Viserion here has permissions to write a spin over onto... That was not the right one. Damn it. Go back. Let me click on this. There you go. He has write permissions to write a SPN, a spin, over to Vagar. So I'm thinking that we're currently on server 1. If there's some way on server 1, on Linux server 1, we can go grab Viserion's TGT, we go grab his password, something where we might be able to impersonate him. Ooh, you know what I just realized? There has to, I just realized something. There has to be an account set up for the Linux server. Hold the phone. I can't believe I didn't think about this before. What is this server called? Hang on. Where's my notes? Let me check something here. This server is Cyrax. We didn't look to see what permissions the Cyrax account has to have. Even though it's a Linux machine, it still has to have an account over in AD. So let's go look at that real quick. What we got for Cyrax? So what is this computer a member of? Okay, nothing special there. So the Cyrax account doesn't get us anything super spectacular. Damn, I was hoping maybe it could do some kind of a delegation on there. Let's do a little bit more checking over there. Now that we got the C2 set up, because we set that up last night. I want to do some stuff in here. Let's do a shell command. Do some shellies. Because we ran through these, I want to run through them again real quick. All right. So looking at our suid binaries, all these look pretty standard. gpassword, su, mount, sudo, umount, all of these. The SSH key sign is the only one that looks a little bit funny. But I don't think there was anything when we looked at SSH key sign over in GTFO bins. There wasn't anything in there. Let's see. What's this other one in here? ksu.mit. I don't know what this one is. Maybe that is something we could do with it. Because what I'm thinking is, hold on, I still have the diagram up, is that so we've got Sunfire here. We can SSH into LXO1. The thinking was, if we privx on LSO1, then we could capture Viserion and then use the right SPN to try and... Oh god, my handwriting is so bad. I don't even know what I wrote there. What did I even do there? Oh, that was supposed to be Vagar. That's what that was. Hang on. You write that. To the Vagar. Because then we could jump to the Vagar machine. No idea what we might be able to do with that just yet. Vagar. There we go. That's better. Hey, Hackermans. What's up, dude? Yeah, Vagar is going to be classified as SRV1 here. Server 01, also Vagar. This is how it's designated over in Ludus. So actually, let's go take a look at that before. It looks interesting because we've got this kind of path evolving, but let's dig on it a little bit more. Ugh, flashbang. Let's see, nothing special from that, but for Vagar, let's see if we have anything that might be on there. We did not do local machine collection, so we don't have the full picture, but let's see what we might be able to find on there. So for members of, is it any special membership? None in there. Makes sense. Inbound object control. So we'd have to get onto Vagar to do data collection to see, okay, could we build out more of the attack path on there? There's actually something else we could do. Let me see. I don't think we checked just to see what S&B shares we've got. Let's go look real quick. Wait, did I not do that right? Oh, I know why that's different. Because I didn't specify the domain. I was like, why is this not working? Cheers. There we go. All right, nothing special there. We could go take a look through Sysvol, also just as a CYA. Hey, Blurry, what's up, dude? So we're going through and... Hold on, I just had it up. Let me walk through it again. So we're working on this machine here, LX01. Eventually, we're trying to find a way to get over to the DC. This was just a diagram of how we did the initial foothold, right? So LX01 had this tool called GLPI running on it. It also had a database. GLPI has a blind time-based SQL injection in it. So we were able to go through and find the table that handles all the LDAP authentication because GLPI was connected over to Active Directory for logging in. Cool. Okay, hold on. I just had a thought, but I want to finish this real quick. So after we got that out, then we were able to connect over to DC01. We actually, there's a second part to that. They took about an hour to bleed all that information through SQL map out of the system. So be aware of that because it's time-based blind SQL injection. So we had to pull it out one character at a time. Took about an hour to just dump the entire table. Thank God there was only one entry in it. So we pulled that out, but it was encrypted. However, there was an encryption file that's hosted in GLPI, and the server's misconfigured, and it exposes that encryption key. So we took the encryption key, spun up a little PHP script to decrypt the password, and we were able to get Sunfire's password back. I can't believe I just realized this. Why didn't I just try to log into GLPI in Sunfire to see what I could get? Because I'm the smarts. That's why. I am the smarts. Hang on. Let's go pull that up real quick. Where was that? Hold on. I think it's just in /GLPI. There we go. The light mode. Let's see. Sunfire. I think that's how we spell it. Hold on. What's the credentials here? Creds. FYRE, and there's the password. Let's go log in there and just see what we've got. FYRE. There we go. Let's see if we have anything in here. I don't think there will be anything in here, but we're checking out. Negative IQ viewer. I love reading the usernames. They crack me up. What's up, dude? Welcome in. Let's see. So I don't see anything in here. It looks like this is just purely a ticketing system. Root entity, self-service. Yeah, that's it. What up, my settings? What do we have? Reservations, nothing. Tickets, nothing. Okay, this was purely just in here as a way for us to get the initial foothold, so nothing in GLPI itself. In fact, I'm going to just close that out because I just don't care about it anymore. Close. What's the best browser for low RAM laptops? Geez, I don't know. Just about all of them are usually Chromium derivatives now. So they're all going to have the same memory footprint as Chromium. Let's see. Could check Bloodhound for root Linux domain users? Oh, maybe. So what we saw when we were coming through this... Well, yeah, you could use links if you want to have, like, just text and no JavaScript. Actually, does Links support JavaScript now? For anybody who doesn't know, Links is a terminal-based browser. That would be very, very streamlined, Rabbit. All right, so check Bloodhound for root Linux domain users. So that's kind of what we did. So let's come back over here. If we come to Sunfire, right? And to get a little bit of situational awareness. So this is where we are. Let's mark this as owned. Add to owned. Boop. All right. And then Sunfire doesn't really have a whole lot going on. Doesn't have any outbound controls. Has some inbounds. But if we go to member of here, all these are standard groups here. Everyone pre-Windows, users, domain users, except for this one, the Linux users group. So if we come in here, there's two members of that group. The group itself doesn't have any outbound permissions, but we do see Viserion. So perhaps there's something we can do with Viserion over here. I tell you what, let's go look at what his inbound object controls are. These look pretty standard. Enterprise admins, key admins, account operators. Let's see. Normal administrators. All those flow from those. Local user is a special case. Ignore that. It's an artifact of the lab. It's not intended as being part of the Dracarys lab. Let's see. So yeah, so nothing super special about Viserion. Like any indication of like it's impacting him anyway. Oh God. Hang on. It's so bright. Hang on. This is killing me. I'm going to switch over to Chrome because I think it will run a little bit better over here. Now, one of the weird things is I need to get that back out. Because I don't remember what the password is. I don't want to look it up. I'm going to switch this all over to Chrome real quick, and then I'll put it back into dark mode. Ah, damn it. Stupid frickin' sandbox. All right, fine, screw it. I guess we're going to stick over to Firefox then. Starship Zip, what's up, dude? The light is blinding. I'm so sorry. Anyway, so here's the other thing we're looking at. Viserion, who is also in the Linux users group. He has one outbound permission over here, which is to this machine called Vagar. So Vagar is the server in the box. So it's a Linux server, a Windows server, and a Windows domain controller. Those are the three systems we've got in here. We don't have any visibility into Vagar yet. So, like, we don't know who's a local admin. Well, actually, you know what we could do is we could go try and see what kind of permissions Sunfire has to Vagar. Let's go double check that real quick. Oh, I'm cheating. That's not supposed to be local user. Oh, come on. Sunfire. Okay, here we go. I can use this one. Local user is it's a holdover from when the account was spun up. It's a built-in account. It's not supposed to be in the lab. It's built into the templates though that I use to deploy the lab in Ludus. So hang on. So let's see what we have for shares coming from Sunfire. Okay. Oh wait, that was Balerion. Damn it. Hang on. We want to check Vagar. Vagar. Okay, so same kind of thing here. We only have... Now, here's the kicker, though. there's no signing to this one here. So if we might be able to find something running on LX01 that will let us get into Viserion, and because it doesn't have signing, we might be able to... what is it? There's a trick we were talking about last night about ghost SPNs. Now, if you want to know, like, what's this default one in Bloodhound, if you have not seen this, when you click on the actual edge itself, it brings up information about this. Let's see if I can bring this up. So basically, this says the user Viserion has the ability to write a service principal name onto Vagar. So for abuses of this, let me come back here. Yeah, it's got it broken down by Windows and Linux in here. The main thing they talk about here is targeted curb roasting, but there are other things you can do. So what we would do is we would go set an SPN on Vagar here, and then use that to basically do a targeted curb roasting. Now, the weird thing about that is this. If we come look here, when was the password last set? It was set on 5/3/2026. So it depends on if this is an intended path. And the reason I say that is because in the real world, every time I have gone through and dumped something like NTDS and gone through and tried to crack this, I have, of the hundreds and hundreds of thousands, I don't think it's quite gotten to millions, but a lot of machine accounts that I have run through a hash cracker with their NTLM hashes. I believe I've cracked about 5. It's just because the machine passwords are very long and purely random. Hey, Kilo, what's up, dude? Watch Viserion use the same password. Oh, that'd be bad. That would be bad. Hang on, actually, you know what? There's a way to go tell about this. You actually just brought up a good point, Killa. If we go look at Sunfire, let me see. So Vagar's password was last set 5/3/2026 at 9 Eastern Daylight Time. So if we go look at Sunfire, if Sunfire's password was set at the same time, that might be an indicator of it. Sunfire's password was set at the exact same time, like almost down to the second. So maybe that is an intended path. So with Linux admin's membership, can you manage AD for other Linux users, like set the password? No. No. Unfortunately. Oh, you're right. That is minutes. That's not seconds. Yeah, right. You're right, Bog. I'm an idiot. Yes. It was about 4 minutes apart. So basically, though, that means the password for that was set. Let's see. So the question is still, I think it's still worth it to try and see if we can privesk on LX01. Because I'm wondering if once we get into LX01, if there's something we can do to get a hold of Viserion's account. We might be able to find something else interesting on that system. Now, we do know a little bit of information, like we come over here. If we do ls home, right? We look at the home directory. We only see Sunfire and local user in here. Actually, let me try something quick. Oh no, what did I just do? Oh, it did give me more information here. Hang on. Because I wanted to see when was this directory made. Okay, so Sunfire's directory here was not made until yesterday when we logged into it. See that? So that tells us something very important. It means that there's been no kind of interactive, like SSH style login for Viserion on this system. So it kind of points it away from, hey, does Viserion have credential material on here? Also, if we go look at our temp directory, we see one curb5cc, which is ours. This is the one for Sunfire. And then we see these other two that are listed as PAM ones in here. So unfortunately, right. So that means Viserion has never logged into the system. Makes sense unless Mayfly had built in some kind of automation script to have Viserion go through it and do that. I'm a new player in the ball world, and I don't find any shaver that fits me. So I want to ask, what's your secret to get this shiny skull? I literally just use a skull shaver gold, I think. And in fact, it's actually kind of fuzzy right now. You can't see it because my hair is so fine and so thin. But I'm getting really chia petty right now, so I need to go shave it up some more. And usually what I'll do is I'll just shave it after I shower. Usually, so I'll clean it up after I get out of the shower. I'll go shave it. I only have to do that like, I don't know, every 3 or 4 days. Oh no, it's called a, hang on one sec. Let me look it up. If I can find the browser. Here we go. Hold on. It's called a skull shaver. God, I wonder how much these things are now, because the last time I got one, yeah, they've gone up in price a little bit. I think it was $100 whenever I got it. And so, but yeah, this is what I use right here. And the blades inside it are replaceable. So it's worked out pretty well for me. I've been shaving my head for about 3 years, maybe 2 years. About that. It was before I started live streaming, and I've been live streaming for 2 years, so a little bit longer than that. Yeah, but it works out pretty well. There's a subreddit I really like called Buy It for Life. Negative, go check in there and see if anybody else has recommended one. I should have checked it before I bought mine, but honestly, I was just so pissed off at the state of my hair that I just went and bought one. Yeah, I don't shave every day. I'll do it like I say probably close to 3 or 4 days. It's going to depend on how fast your hair grows and how dark your hair is and what kind of look you're going for. Although I'm not Mr. GQ, so take everything I say with a giant heaping tablespoon of salt. That's right, Paperclip. I do not poop on stream. No. No. Nor will there be feet pics available in the Discord. No. Bunch of degenerates. Let's see here. Let me check something real quick. I want to see what this SUD binary is here. This one right here. What is this KSU MIT one? Let's see. So KSU is a Kerberos version 5 or V5 version of the SU command. What? Allowing users to switch identities securely using Kerberos tickets rather than plain passwords. Ooh, interesting. MIT suffix is likely for MIT Kerberos. Okay. Let's go look at that real quick, because I've never seen that before. Let's see. Shell. I can't type. Shell. Drop that in there. And then let's do... let's just run attack H on it. See what comes back. Principal, source, lifetime, command, args. Is there... Let me see if there's like a version for it. Attack V? Nope, didn't like that. Attack version? Let's see. No version. So it said it was a part of the let's see. So maybe we can figure out what the version is. Maybe it's got an issue with it if we go look at that. So we'll do shell. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for you. That's what he said. DPKG. And then let's drop in Curb5 user. Here we go. All right, so this version here is 1.20.1 with probably some Ubuntu backports in here. So let's go take a look at this real quick. Let's see. Are there any CVEs registered against it? Security regarding the use of a weak cryptographic hash. But this was a 2025 CVE, so unless he installed a particular version of it. Let's go look at that real quick. Hey, no problem, negative, by the way. Let's see. What is this CVE? Vulnerability in the MIT Kerberos implementation allows GSS API protected messages using RC4 HMAC and MD5 to be spoofed due to weaknesses in MD5 checksum. So if RC4 is preferred over stronger encryption types, an attacker could exploit MD5 collisions to forge message integrity codes. I don't think that's what they're going for this one. MD5 collisions is probably outside the scope for this lab. It's probably outside the scope for a lot of practical purposes. Any chance the password is reused for local user? Oh no, I know the local the local user password because that was a built-in account to the templates that were used to deploy the lab. So local user is out of scope. We don't want to use local user. Oh, Bog's bringing in the big brain move. I think the main path here would be to do LDAP enumeration since he hasn't logged in. Check out his domain credential objects and check user account control. Don't require pre-auth. Oh, do you think maybe we could asp roast him? Let's go look. Let's see. We should be able to see that over in Bloodhound, I believe. Let's see. Viserion. If not, if we don't see it in here, I think we should be able to see it in here. We'll just go do an LDAP query for it and go double check it. Let's see. I think it would be up here. Do not require pre-authentication, false. So do require pre-authentication. And I think that's for... God, I haven't done an AS rep roast in so long. I gotta remember how to do this. Let's see. Yeah, that would have to be set to true. Okay, I want to make sure I was getting all my double negatives in here. If it was ASRep roastable, that would be set to true. We actually could go... Hold on. We could run a cipher query to see who does have that. There's saved queries in here. Yeah, ASRep roastable accounts. So yeah, this would be don't require pre-auth set to true. Nothing came back for that, so... Let me take that user condition out, if just anything has that. Yeah, nothing came back there. So, not such a big deal. Good thinking, though. Always something good to check on it. Did we have 445 listing on this machine? Hang on, let's go look real quick. Let's do a shell. Actually, does this have a built-in netstat? Does not. All right, shell netstat hack plant. Actually, it probably doesn't have netstat. It's probably got the SS option here, but that's fine. We'll do that. So we don't have Samba running on here because like we don't see 445. So maybe that was something else we could do. So I'm not seeing that in here. You know what? Let's check. Let's check also what capabilities we have. I think that's, what is that? Shell cap tac R. Maybe we've got some Linux capabilities that we can abuse. Wait, that's not it? Hang on. Oh, it's getcap. That's what it is. You know what's funny is actually I had a buddy that his very first internal penetration test on like an Active Directory, he did see that bug. Check the password, check for the password in the notes field of the object too. That'd be funny. Hold on, let's go double check it real quick. I didn't see anything in like the description or notes in here, but we could always go pull the object. Let's see. Usually you see that like in the description field. Description is just Viserion. Let's go do that real quick though. I gotta remember how to run a... I gotta remember how to do that. Let's see. I'm pretty sure we can do that through netexec. That'll be the easiest way. Yeah, it should be this. Let's see if this does it. Oh, except I gotta put the frickin' Viserion. I left it as just target user. There we go. All right. Let's see what we've got in here now. So let's see. Nothing special in there. But the SAM account name. Do we have the description in here? Yeah, description just a Viserion. Yeah, so nothing in there. I was kind of expecting that. I tell you what, let's go do the same thing for Sunfire, just to make sure that we're not missing anything. Sunfire. Although this is supposed to be a challenge lab, so I doubt that's the path Mayfly was going to choose for this one. But you never know. Yeah, not seeing anything in there. netexec also has a user description module. Ooh. Man, I like netexec. I just don't use it very much. That's pretty sick. So it has an entire module just for getting the user descriptions. Let's go try that real quick. Oh, it's something it didn't like in there. Yeah, so nothing in the user account. Sunfire is the GLPI service account. We saw that. There has to be a way. There's something else I was just thinking about, right? There has to be a way for LX01 to directly talk to the DC, right? As part of its KRB5 system. So it knows how to authenticate the user, set up their groups, provision everything for them. So this machine has to have some kind of credential material to talk to the DC to prove that it is, what is this, Cyrax? I think that was the name of this machine. So to prove that it is Cyrax, it has to have something to authenticate to the DC as it. So it can't just be a Kerberos ticket because those age out. So it's got to be probably a password sort somewhere or anything else like that. So I think going through down the route of prevesking on LX01 is probably going to be fruitful for what we're doing. Wait, why didn't get cap show anything? Hang on. Oh, because I'm an idiot. You got to tell like where the path is to it. Let's see. So CapNet Raw is in here for these two. Let me make a note of that real quick. Hang on. You throw that over here into the notes. Make a note here. Let's see. Prevest on LX01. Make a note of that real quick. So, with that kind of setup, I gotta remember what CapNet Raw EP means. Let's see. So CapNet Raw is the Linux capability that allows a process to use a raw socket, typically required for network diagnostic tools like ping, TCP/UDP, Wireshark. Okay. So this is saying that MTR packet. So that one has CapNet Raw. Ping obviously needs CapNet Raw. Let's see. What else do we have over here? GNU GStreamer and Snap Confine, they've got a whole bunch in here, but those look pretty standard. Hey, Kaiju, what's up, man? Happy Sunday. By the way, I hope all of y'all had a fantastic Sunday. You got to spend a lot of time with your friends and family. I kind of did today, a little bit. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, went and spent time with my mom. Saw them. My mom and my brother. Spent some time with them. Was hoping that we were going to be able to take the kids riding at the track tomorrow. However, a giant storm just blew through. So the tracks are going to be too wet and muddy. Yes, that's right. Apt 101. Familia. It's important. I highly encourage everyone on Sunday, spend time with your friends and family, because you're going to need that juice to remember why you're going into crushing it mode on Monday. Well, actually, take it back. Maybe you're not having to because tomorrow is Memorial Day here in the United States, so you might have Monday off, in which case it is double Familia time, so you can double crush it on Tuesday because it's a short week. I spent time with the family. There was definitely juice. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. No, 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 Rabbit. No, no, no. Let's see. All right, so unless this MTR packet thing is useful, let's see. MTR packet binary. On Sunfire, can you realm list? Yeah, it's just going to show the Dracarys slab. I think it's... Is it realm list? Yeah. So it shows us the Dracarys slab. It's using SSSD and login format here. Policy. Yeah. No, I've never come across SSSD. I didn't see anything that stood out to me on this. So if you're familiar with it and you did notice something that I didn't, I'm going to learn as well. Yeah. Is the YouTube stream jacked up again? What is going on? No, I think it's just my browsers. Because I'm monitoring the streams on here. I think they're just being turds. Just curious about the client software? Yeah. So I've never used SSSD tools. It seems pretty cool. I like the idea of it. So what is this binary though? MTR packet binary. What is this? Subprocess invoked by MTR my trace route that's required to send custom network packets because MTR needs to have raw saga. Oh, so that's for doing trace route. That makes sense. Ping trace route. No wonder why they've got it. Okay, got it. Talisman, what's up, dude? Happy Sunday, brother. We are still looking kind of like at the Privesc options we've got over on LXO1. Let's see, and I'm pretty sure we already checked. We don't have any permission over into the root directory. Actually, hang on. I want to capture that here in the output real fast. Just so I can go back and I can search for it again. That's why I'm doing most of the stuff over the C2, so I can go search the logs for it. Let's see. So in the root directory, yeah, we don't have any permissions into that. Only root does. We already looked in temp. Temp has a Kerberos ticket for the account on here, but that's also us. Oh, wait, no, I take that back. This machine has to have its own TGT. Hang on, where would the auth material be for that? Hang on 1 second. I'm trying to figure out where this would be. Maybe data collection to see if you or Linux admins has any rights over via like bloodhound.py. Let me do something else here. Let me open up a file browser in here. Let's see, browsers, file browser. Here we go. All right, let's see. Looking for the KRB5 key tab file. Here we go. Why does this give me any information on it though? View permissions. Okay, so yeah, it's pure root read-write. Okay. So if we get root, we could go impersonate this machine. I didn't play the sound. Damn it. I apologize, Talisman, but thank you for the 111 biddies. I appreciate it, man. And if you notice, you look up there above my head. If every time somebody donates bits, I built that custom, and so rather than having like a tip cup, it's a buffer. So whenever it hits 500 bits, it overflows and it resets the buffer. Yes, happy Sunday, man. I have to admit, I was sleeping on Slay the Spire because at the board game convention I was at with my buddy, Zach, we went and played Slay the Spire, the board game. And he was telling me this, and it was really, really good. and we had a blast with it. He's like, this is exactly how the video game plays. I'm like, all right, for you, for real? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay. So I went and got it, and yeah, I've been absolutely addicted to it. So that's part of the reason why I now have a 13-hour sleep debt. The game causes like the passage of time to cease being apparent. That's what happens. Let's see. Have you checked out Grey Hat after all the recent improvements? Ooh, I have not. Because I really liked Grey Hat. I thought it was a really fun game. And actually, back in the beginning, yeah, Kaiju, you were watching back when we had Salty on, and we were doing like Hacking 101 with Salty, right? And we were using Grey Hack as like a training thing, yeah. So, unfortunately, Salty, well, I say unfortunately, he's had a lot of really great life progressions happening, right? He's leveling up in life, and he just we didn't have the time for it in a while. How Salty, he's doing really well, man. He had some really hard times, sadly, kind of like similar hard times to what I've had the last 2 years, but he's doing really well. He's just keeping crazy busy. He's crushing it. And so that's why we weren't able to keep doing the the teaching streams with him. So, yes, I'll tell him everybody was asking about him, because he is an absolutely stellar dude. Fortunately, I've never been a gamer other than a nice game of chess with in real life friends, so I try to keep my obsessions billable. That is a very profitable approach, Talisman, yeah. There's another game, IT Specialist Simulator. Okay, hang on. I do want to go check that out. I gotta figure out what to do on this machine. IT Specialist Simulator. I can't. Dang it, it showed up for a hot second. Specialist Simulator. Oh wow, they went like really into this. You even have to go fix the printer. Yeah. They nailed it. That's the whole reason why I don't tell people that I don't tell people what I do. When they ask like, hey, what do you do for work? I was like, I'm an IT consultant. And they're like, what does that do? It's like, I just go tell people what's wrong with their network so they can go fix it. That's it. Because I never want them to ask me how to fix their printer. God, I hate printers. The only person I'm willing to go fix their printer for was my dad and now Sock. Those are the only two people. Also, not sponsored by Jocko yet. Yes. Have you tried turning it off and on again? Exactly. This looks hilarious, but I have a feeling that I'd get PTSD from playing it. That's like truck driving simulator. Like people just want to go do truck driving. PC load letter? What the hell is that? I can't help my dad anymore. He just sent me this last week as an email. Can you help me fix my AOL? I can't use AI to work on my 3D printer. Oh, that's funny. I know, my poor dad, he got some kind of an HP printer back in the day, and it had like subscription ink, and it bricked the printer because when he passed away, his debit card was deactivated, and then we just couldn't use it. I was like, oh my god, HP, you're cancer. Let me check something real quick. What was that SUID binary we just saw? Hang on one second. It was right here. Can we call this binary directly? Wait, yeah, we did, didn't we? Because I think we were trying to find out like what version it is. Hold on, I think I already did attack H. What was it? Let me see. Target user, principal, source cache name. E command. Target user. Root. What happens? Cannot read password file while cannot read password while reading password for root at dracarys.lab. Hold on. I've never messed with this binary before. What if I put in Sunfire? Mysteria? I think we'd have to have a TGT for that to work. Let's see. We have a K-list command? No. Shell K-list. Because all I think we've got in our Kerberos list here is a TGT for... is this TGT right here. And so that would be, yeah, default principal Sunfire. So yeah, that's it. Let's see. So root right here, we just got like this authentication failure going on. Hey, Yellowstone, thanks for coming online, man. Welcome in, and I hope you're having a fantastic Sunday. Come on in. We are just hacking around and finding out. That's right. We're going to hack around and find out. Oh, by the way, I am really behind on Discord messages, guys. I've been really out of the loop while I was at the convention and then taking care of stuff at home and everything. I'll catch up on messages probably tomorrow, to be quite frank with you. I've got so many red bubbles popped up on Discord. I'm not ignoring y'all. I've just been busy. I apologize. I'll get to them. Those regulations were updated? Okay, I'll go check them out. Because that's good to know. Let's see. I'm pretty sure we already checked cron tab in here. Where's our file browser? Let's go back to Etsy. I'm going to run through this again real quick. That's not working the way I wanted it to. Let's see, where was cron tab? Here we go. Yeah, for cron tab, it looked like everything was pretty well standard in here. So here's our kind of default Etsy cron tab. So it's just running the usual scripts. If there was anything in the root directory, so if we had a write primitive where we could go put something in the root directory, then we would be able to actually go run it. But we don't have permissions to write to the root directory. Let's go see if we have anything in here for like any other of those KR5 logins in here. What would that be? Find starting in / anything with the name of, I think it's star.kr5 star. We'll do that. Yeah. And then let me go ahead and redirect the standard out because I don't want to see, or the standard error. I don't want to see anything like that. No standard errors. Just give me the good stuff. I can't type. There we go. Nothing came back for that. Do I need to, hold on. Maybe I need to wrap that. Because I know there should be KR5. What? Really? Hold on. There should be one in temp. I can check it from there. Or maybe I'm mistaken. Hold on. What was the extension on that? Let's see. Oh, it didn't have an extension. It was KRB5. All right, let me make sure I got this command right. Well, that won't show up anyway either because I just realized there's no dot in there. Okay, so yeah, there's just nothing coming back with that like what I wanted. Curb 5. Yeah, I realized I was missing the B. Let's see. So libraries, shared documents, D packages. Let's see. Key tab we already checked. We already checked. Okay, so nothing there. You know what? Let's go check. We actually didn't go look to see like what was in. Close that. Close that. Let's go look in var real quick. Let's go look in var trip dubs here. Because we know we've got our stuff in here, but maybe there's something in... Like, if we can read into that... Yes, we had index, and then we've got GLPI. Ooh, you make kombucha?
To combat conflict.
To what?
Combat conflict.
Oh, thank you, man. Can you take that for me? Thank you. Sock brought me kombucha because she's like, that will help you fight off the con crud. I was like, thank you, sweetie. Oh, that is more power bucha. That'll curl your butt hairs. Ooh. Yeah, that's more power bucha. All right, we already have basically everything we could want out of this, so there's nothing in here. Curl what? The hairs on your bootay. Yes. This is elderberry kombucha that Sock makes. And we don't drink it very often, so it has plenty of time to ferment. And, ooh, this will test your kung fu. Just stick it on the bill, Rabbit. Just stick it on the bill. Let me try one more thing in here, because there should be a KR5 login in here. Like, it is not supposed to be KRB. It should be KR5 login. I just want to double check this real quick. I think I can do it like that. Yeah, nothing came back for that. So there's no just like chilled out login materials just hanging on the box. Sock is too good to me. She's amazing. I don't know how she puts up with my shenanigans, with my not taking care of myself, with all the other BS. She's just awesome. I married way outside my 2 standard deviations, just to be real with you. Hey, Chris, what's up, man? Screw Python. This didn't work because I didn't save reshaping an array in a stupid variable name by the same name as the variable I'm reshaping. It's almost like I was having that discussion with Agent Zero. And so for anybody who is new to the stream, Agent Zero is my oldest son. He's 7. And I was telling him computers are really cool and computers will do exactly what you tell them, but what you tell them isn't always what you intended for them to do. Let's see. Let me check one more thing real quick. Hold on, I'm going to copy this from another system I'm looking at here. I think we already checked for world writable files, but I want to double check real quick. Oh, there's a lot more in here than I was expecting. So if he cached the varlib SSS DB in the cache domain, it may give you the hash. I want to say we looked at that, but let's go double check it again, Bog. Let's see. So varlib. Let's see. Yeah, varlib SSS. Let's pull that up real quick. I didn't actually see what permissions we've got in there. There we go. I want to say this view here, for some reason, doesn't show me the permissions, which is really annoying. I wish it did. Yeah. Why doesn't it show me that? Do you have any other domain users? Nope. So far, we just have Sunfire. All right. I don't think we actually have access to DB. Let me see. Yeah, nothing's coming back in here. So if you're wondering, like, what's happening here is this is a virtual file browser. We can kind of go through and look at it. I can see the permissions here. So permissions for this are RWX and then nulls. So only root has permissions into the DB file, Bog. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we checked that last night. Same thing with like all of these. I'm pretty sure. In fact, hang on. There's an easy way to go check this out. Here we go. Because over here, it will show us the permissions, right? So we have read on the GPO cache. We have read on the MC, pipes, and pubconf. Let's go look at that real quick. You got an article for Wednesday night's news stream about OnlyFans getting cracked? Oh, dude. Definitely throw that in the news thread. Yeah, I've been so busy, I haven't looked at it. Although, funny enough, usually, I think Mondays and Tuesdays are like when all the news kind of hits. And so I go in like kind of Monday morning thinking, dang, we're not going to have a lot to cover on the news stream. And then Monday and Tuesday happen, and even Wednesday. Really, it's actually, I think, more Tuesday, Wednesday. And it's just, like, just all the news stories pop up on those days. Let's see here. So we can't look in secrets, but we can look in pubconf. Let's go look in there. Let's see. KDC info, PAM pre-auth. We cannot read that. Curb 5 include D. I think we looked in there and there wasn't anything. Can I? No, I wanted to see what this one was. No, that's not what I wanted. You just download it. Let's see what it is. Oh, it's just the IP address. It's the IP address of the DC. Fantastic. All right, Potion, have a great night, dude. Thanks for stopping in, man. Always appreciate it. Appreciate all your contributions to the news stream, too. So he only has access to the one he's on so far, but he can see that user Viserian's a member of the same group and has that right SBNs to get to the next DC. Not to the next DC. Server 1 is just a server in the network. We don't have any visibility into like what it's doing. Var Crash is there. Actually, look, what's in Crash? Let's go take a look real quick. Can we read any of those crash dumps? Okay, nothing coming back in the crash dumps set. Now, one thing that could be useful actually is if you could force a crash and get a memory dump onto the system, you could do a little forensics magic on it and get that out. There was one other thing in here. I just got to double check something real quick. What is this one right here? Sudo service? Can we literally go modify the sudo systemd service? We have read and write on that. Let me see what's in there. Let's see. Viserian's never logged in, still thinking collection all and according to Bloodhound might be the best. We can go ahead and try that. Let's do that real quick. There's nothing that says we can't do it. All right, let's see. Blood. Yeah, so this is Sunfire, and we'll just change this to collection all. Because we've already got DNS resolutions set up for everything else in there. Let's see. So that was against Balerion. Did I do the collection right? Is it capital all? Hang on. This should throw an error saying what the valid collections are. No, it didn't do that. So all must have been valid in there. See, there's no way that it did that. It's just capital. Hang on. Because there's no way it went through. Okay, something's funky in here because, yeah, 1 second to go dump just what's on the DC in LDAP, that's no problem. However, there's no way it's going against all the other machines. You feel me? Let's go try. Let me double check that real quick. Let's see. Netexec, Bloodhound. Let me try that real quick here. All right, I'm gonna try it the way you said it here. So capital A, 2 little L's. Oh wait, you're talking about doing it with Bloodhound, Bloodhound Python? I think that was messing up on us. Yeah, it was. I had to get rid of it because it was messing up netexec doing it. Let's see. Well, there's another way we could do this. Let's see. CD to tools. And then what we could do is we could git clone it and set up its own, what is it? Hang on. Lost my mouse here. Let me clone this down and we'll just make it its own tool. We'll run it in a virtual environment. Okay, CD to... Actually, let me do something quick. I want to change that, because that's going to piss me off. There we go. Let's see. I gotta remember how to use UV with this, because I think it was originally built with poetry. Ah, never mind. We can just do UV run bloodhound dot py and make sure it's gonna run here. Do I need to sync it? Oh, that's it. I need to do a UV pip install, I think. UV pip install dot. There we go. And now we should be able to run it. There we go. All right. So now let's do this. So the domain is crap. What is it? What's our domain here? Dracarys.lab, that's it. Yeah. Let's go grab that. And then our username is going to be Sunfire. Password. Oh, backgrounded it. Where was our password here? There we go. Oh, wait, I could have just copied all this. Here we go. Let's do that. Copy. Just drop those right quick. Hold on. I want this uniform. It makes it easier to read. All right. Yeah, user, password, DC IP B10 for 1010. Collection, all, and zip it. Is it, I think it's DC TAC IP. Yeah, DC is the host, and then I think we specify the DNS server. Actually, it shouldn't matter because we can set whatever the DC is. The DC is... crap, what is that thing? Hang on. Valerian. That's the DC. How did I do that? Hang on. That should be, I think, the option there. DNS server to use. Let me copy that real quick. all these fun command lines. Let me see. Do I see DNS server in here? DNS TCP, DNS timeout, DC host. Oh, I think it's actually TAC NS in here. Let me see here. No, is that not it? Damn it, where was it? Oh, I did NC. I'm an idiot. Nope, didn't like that. Part of this is also, it doesn't like the order sometimes when you put these in. So, for example, after the password is actually where we should probably put NS. And before we put in TAC DC. Why? Because I don't know. TAC NS 10.4. No. Hang on. Everything got all wonky on me. 10.4, 10.10. And then we'll throw that in there. Yeah, the DNS server should be 10.4, 10.10. Failed to resolve LDAP server IP. No, when I put in the name of the DC here, or like the IP address, 10.4, 10.10, it threw an error. Use the NS flag to specify the DNS server IP if the host name does not resolve on your default name server, which it should. Oh, you know why? I'm an idiot. Because we don't have Balerion in there. We have the FQDN in the Etsy host file. That's why it's failing. What now? You bastard. Oh yeah, for some reason it keeps getting the clock skew in here. Oh, that's why we switched over to NetExec. For some reason, it's saying that the clock skew is too bad. Dang it. I remember that now. Good old clock skew. I know, right? All right, hold on. Do we have NT update? NT E. I don't have that. I don't think I have Ronnie either. All right, let me see if I got this. NTP date. All right, I think that's the one that I need. NTP sec NTP date. Stupid Kali time sync and forcing it from the DC. Oh, you're saying stop Kali time sync? Yeah. Well, that's what I'm trying to do real quick here. All right. Let's see. And then this would be Valerian.Dracarys.lab. Did I spell that right? Valerian. Think so. Can I give it an IP address? Let me see. 10.4.10.10. Okay, there we go. It looked like it was off by quite a bit. All right, but hold on. Let's see if that fixed it now. Yeah, no. Clock skew, 2 great. You beat, son. So why is it doing this? So here's what we're looking at, right? So we synced it over to the DC. And it... Oh, wait, hold on. You said we need to stop the Cali time service in here. Hold on. Let's see. Stop. Is there a... What is that? Is it the time set target? I don't remember which one that is. Time sync D? That's what I'm wondering. Let me see. There we go. Let me check the status of this real quick. I should have checked the status of it actually before we stopped it. Okay. There we go. So that was the problem. So the auto time sync was jacking it up. Because that's how, when we ran those, right, it was constantly like resetting it. Like, hey, by the way, the skew is this. And then, bam, it would automatically reset it. All right. Wait, now what's it doing? Failed to resolve. You son of a biscuit. I did spell that right, didn't I? Bal or Ion. Okay. Bal or Ion. Yeah. Do it. You son of a biscuit. All right, hang on. Tag ns 10.4.10.10. Ah, there we go. Now it did it. Okay. Let's move that to our Dracarys directory. And then we'll go throw that up in Bloodhound. We'll see if we get anything new. Let's see. Administration. There we go. File ingestion. Upload. This one. Uploaded process. Enhancing. Now, I'm not holding my breath here, Bog, because chances are there's not a lot that Sunfire is going to be able to access. Just from the triage of permissions we did for Sunfire, we saw like, hey, didn't really have a whole lot going on there. I didn't see any GPO activity happening, so I don't think we're doing any group policy attacks. Makes sense because, honestly, group policy tradecraft tooling is kind of hot garbage. It's one of the things you use as a last resort. We had to use it one time during a red team because there was literally no other way to progress our objective. And it was a little bit of a high pucker factor because the tooling is so absolutely janky. All right, we're going to give this just a second here. Okay, so that's complete now. So let's go back over to Explore. Sunfire. What are you doing, Sunfire? Yeah, so no change in here. Inbound, outbound permissions. Let's go look at Vagar real quick. See if we notice anything different here. Let's see. Inbound execution permissions. That's going to come from... Ooh, hello. You got the creds, why not just use the whole impact suite on it? Well, because it also depends on what permissions we've got, Heckermans. Otherwise, I would say, yeah, cool. If we had something with more permissions to it, right now what we have is like the lowest of the low, right? So what we've got is this right here. So LXO1 has or a GLP1 here has a connection, and it had this server here. And it was using the Sunfire account as its service account to connect to Active Directory. So it's just scoped for basically checking some stuff over in Active Directory. That's it. That is it. So. Yes, master. No, you're good. I'm trying to think. Oh wait, we were in the middle of checking something. I just realized that. I've got shiny thing syndrome, especially like when it comes to suggestions from the chat. Real bad. Anybody who's been watching for any decent amount of time will tell you, like, somebody suggests something or asks a question. Because when I put Q&A in the title of the stream, I 100% mean it. People come in and ask questions. I have no problem taking a hard left or right to go look at that. But we were in the process of looking at something. We were looking at this pseudo service here. Ooh, nothing came back from that? What? What? We have read and write permissions to that. It's 0 bytes. Don't ever change. I don't plan to, man. Actually, the one change I want to make is eventually move out of the city. If Starlink still keeps getting better and better, then eventually go move somewhere that is, my nearest neighbor is like a 20-minute drive away, and just have my little farm with a little motocross track on it that I can go ride on with the kids. Like, this is like my dream. Like, I would get up and I would go take care of my cows, and then I would go do my IT job. And then in the afternoons, I'd go ride on a little motocross track with the family, and then we'd have some dinner and chill. And then I would stream at night. That would be just an awesome, awesome day. Okay, someone asked, like, hey, what would you do if you won the lottery? I was like, I'd probably stream more. I really enjoy it. I have a lot of fun with it. I like it. So why is this 0 bytes here? Yeah, I think that would be awesome. One of my friends has a motocross track set up at his farm. He's a big motocross guy too. And unfortunately though, it's just kind of expensive to maintain. So I've been trying to get a few other friends to like go in with me. It's like, hey, look, we just need to chip in for gas so he can mow the thing and occasionally go bring the excavator out to reshape the jumps, you know, because they wear out over time. The rain happens, the cows happen, the cows walk over the freaking track. I was like, so we gotta maintain a little bit, but then we have a really awesome place to go ride. And I'm just having trouble like getting folks to like come help. Let me try something real quick. Let me see. Shell system ctl status sudo.service. Is that right? System CTL. Did I spell that right? Hang on. Yeah, system CTL. No, I spelled it system CLT. That's a dirty word. That's the dirty system. That's the system's naughty button. Let's see. Active, inactive, dead. So it's not loaded. Can we start it? Hold on one second. Let me try this real quick. Could I start this? Like, will it let me, or am I going to get a permission error because I'm not sudo? Interactive authentication. Okay, hang on. Let me try this over here real quick. What in the great Google Moogle are you doing? Nope. Nope. Okay, if I start this. Damn it. Password. Let me in, mofo. Damn it. Damn it. Yeah, or we need the pseudo password for Sunfire. Okay. It would be exploitable if it started. Let me try something else real quick here. Because we can check system CTL, the timers, like on some of these. Oh, I didn't have to do that. Maybe we can restart it? That's a good point, actually. Hang on. Let's go. Can we restart? No. Still need sudo permissions. I was expecting that, but it's always worth, you know, checking out. Let's see. PHP session clear timer. Update notifier. App daily. Lug rotate. ManDB. File system trimmer. Yeah, if you want to have a nice trim file system for when the ladies come over. Systat collector. Nothing in here's looking... Yeah, so like I don't see anything for the sudo service in here. See that? Let me grab a copy of this real quick, just because this looks interesting. Throw that over in the notes. We can look, there was information we could see over in Etsy sudoers. Hang on, I'll bring it up. Let's see. Etsy sudoers. I passed it. There we go. Why didn't this... Why is it not showing anything? Is there just nothing to show? No. Yeah, we should see readme and local user. Local user is an artifact. We're not worried about local user in here. Why is this thing being a turd? There we go. Yeah. Hey, Max, what's up? Oh, Chess got rug pulled into a Rickroll? You're thinking we might have write permissions on... do we have write permissions on the directory? Hang on. Let me see. Hold on. It's easier to go check over here real quick. Let's see. LSLSD Etsy sudoers. Yeah, sudoers.b. I can't spell, obviously. Sudoers. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have write permissions into the directory. Otherwise, yeah, we could totally do that. Hey, Max. What's up, man? Happy Sunday. That's right. Hang on one sec, guys. I gotta run to the bathroom. I'll be right back. And no, before you hit, no, I'm not pooping. I gotta go take a wicked French yes. Because the kombucha's going right through me. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I'm back. There you go. If y'all know anybody who can poop in 60 seconds, it's probably Nicolas Cage. That's gonna be the next one. Oh, you made me tea.
Stay hydrated.
I am staying hydrated. Here, I finished the kombucha. Thank you. That's gonna be the next Nicolas Cage movie. It's gonna be like when he's 80 years old, and it's gonna be like going in 60 seconds, and it's him racing to the bathroom. I do slide in my chair all happy. See? Whoop, whoop. It's like Zoidberg. Whoop, 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 whoop. Whoop, 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 whoop. Nicolas Cage is definitely the shit. Thank you, Ken. Coming in hot with the dad jokes. What's up, man? I wasn't pooping, Cankles. God, you bunch of weirdos. Let me see here. So someone was recommending that there's a generators file that we might be able to make work with this. So hang on, let me look at something real quick. Let's see. Let's see. Etsy system D. System generators. And then what is this? Let me just see what's in here. System generators is a link to dev null. All right, well, that's a rip. I think that's going to hit the same. I'll try it. Edit full sudo.service. Yeah, I think that's probably going to hit the exact same sudo requirement. Well, that's not going to happen there. Unit is masked. Sad. Sad. What else do we have in the system D directory in here? Let's see. So we have network, system generators we already checked. That's symlinked, which, wait a second, hold on. Wait a second, what was this? Oh, system generators. Yeah, because this was the one they were looking at, the systemd GPT auto generator. Yeah, that was the specific file they were looking at. That's linked to null, so that's not going to work. We can't edit it because it's masked. Let me see what's in the system directory here. Okay, we got a lot of stuff in here. What do we got? None of these that I can see that we have direct write access into. Some of them are symlinked in here. See if you can run sudo visudo or sudo edit. Well, let's try it. I don't know if we have any sudo rules for Sunfire, but let's try it real quick. Yeah, we need the, well, actually, hold on. Just because it's requesting the password doesn't mean it's going to fail. It could be that they have a particular sudo rule that allows them. We just couldn't enumerate the sudo rules in here. Okay, well, rip on that. Not in the sudoers file. So that means it's not that we don't have permission to that. We're not in the sudoers file at all. That's right. That's what it was. There was something in this, though. Hang on. Because there was a PHP one in here. Where was this guy? Maybe there's something we can do with that? Oh, that's just Terabad. Let's see. Dev. No. Yeah, it's right there. I just don't know why I didn't see it in here. Systemd system. Is there something? Did I? Oh, it's in userlib. Oh, I'm an idiot. It's in userlib systemd. Damn it. So, unfortunately, you see this right here? We have no permissions to it. We have read permissions to it. So actually, hold on. That's worth checking out. Let's read it. Let's see. Exec start userlib PHP session clean. So let's go look at that real quick. Userlib PHP session clean. I believe that is POSIX shell script. We could read it. Okay, hold on, let's go read that file real quick. Is there anything we might be able to do with this? Let's see, so for version in PHP query, like, is there something we might be able to inject a environment variable in here? Not seeing anything. Yeah, because here's what I'm looking for. I was still going to see if we have any variables in here that we might be able to override. Right, like, hey, it's bringing in an environment variable, and we could set the environment variable and then run the script to get, like, a command line injection. Unfortunately, it sets version right here, and then it uses that. SAPIS is set up here. Let's see. Let's see if I can vim that real quick. I won't be able to edit it, but I'm going to get some syntax highlighting. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything in here. Wait, where does save path come from? Oh, there it is. Save path comes from there, so it's getting set before we actually execute it. Session config dir is looking for stuff in etc php version conf dir. So unless we could go drop something in there to try and modify it. Let me go check that real quick. etc php. We'll look at that in Mythic real quick. Let's see. etc pip. Why is it not showing up? It should be showing up in here. There we go. For some reason, the file browser is lagging out here. Let's see. Apache 2, CLI, mods available. Let's see. Anything over in the Apache 2 we might be able to use. Let's see. Nothing that we've got write permissions over into. Damn it. Damn it. Check something real fast here. So nothing in that guy, unfortunately. You could drop in an INI file and force PHP to execute it on its own user. Unfortunately, PHP is going to be running as tripdub's data. Yeah, because like if we come and if we do... In fact, I think we ran that earlier, like real early on. Let me see. It doesn't show who's running it, but yeah, it should be running as tripdub's data here. This guy. So one of the things I was mentioning last night is I'm trying to also suss out what is a privilege escalation path that could be inadvertently built into the virtual machine that isn't the intended path from Mayfly. So, like, for example, the snapd vulnerability, I don't think he set that up. That one may work, but it doesn't feel like that's the right way to go with this. Yeah, PHP is not running as a... I think we have permission over into... Let me see. var tripdubs HTML. Let me see. View permissions. Yeah, so it's set for tripdubs data, and we don't have write permissions into the directory. Yeah, we have read permissions there. Actually, hold on, let me go back. GLPI. We don't have write permissions into that directory. I wish this showed us what the permissions were for this. That's something I really want to do in here. I wish it did. Because if we can modify any of these files in here without having to do view permissions. Yeah. So we don't have any permissions to write anything into this directory here. Yeah. So all that's locked down to TripDub's data. Not really surprising there. Let me look at let me look in temp again real quick. I want to make sure I didn't miss something. So we're seeing these ones right here. Hang on. I want to grab a copy of those because I wanted to look at something real quick here. Let's see. What were those files called? Hang on. They were our KRB5CC files. Let's see. Temp KRB5CC star. I want to grab a copy of this real quick because I just noticed there's another one that's popped up in here. I'm not sure what these PAM ones are. This one is us right here. I assumed these PAM ones were from... I assumed that those were basically part of the SSS system that was connecting it. Maybe I am mistaken. Hang on. Did you already look at the GLPI configuration for credentials? Yeah, that's how we got Sunfire's credentials. Was we leaked them via a very, very slow SQL map database dump. And then we decrypted them because there was an exposed configuration file. Did you check that you don't have rights to Viz's object via the Linux admins group? There was no... I didn't see a Linux admins group. Well, was there? There was just the Linux users group in there. There is a Linux admins group. Oh, I completely missed that. Hold on, who's in here? Ah, Regal and Drogon. Drogon, I believe, yeah, Drogon is a domain admin. But Regal, we did not look at. Let's see. What else is he a member of? He's a member of 6 groups. Basically, all the standard groups in Linux admin. Okay. So if he's the Linux admin, he's got to be doing something on this system. There are credentials to access the database, but we essentially already had access to the database itself. And there were... Actually, hang on. Let me go double check the notes real quick. Let's see. Yeah, so there were passwords for GLPI, normal test only tech. Those were the local passwords. Everything else was doing LDAP. And after we did the database dump to get Sunfire's stuff out, we ran PHP, the custom decrypt script that I had Claude go make because I'm lazy. And then after that came up, then we had the original password back. That gave us access to Sunfire. But Sunfire is the service account for GLPI to talk to Active Directory. What are these files in here? Let me go check real quick. Where's my... Here we go. Temporary Kerberos credential caches created by the PAM KRB5 PAM module during the authentication process. Purposes, they store the initial credentials obtained from PAM authentication. So those might be UID and then a random value. Okay, so in this case, it's Pam in here. This is our UID. I assumed that got created. Hang on, let me try something real quick. I'm going to exit out of this. I'm going to SSH back in. And I'm going to do this again. Okay, we didn't get anything different in here. I was wondering if we would see a new Kerberos ticket appear in here. Because that might give us an idea of like, hey, when we initially connected to the system, when did it happen? So yesterday, what's the date on the box here? Date on the box is May 25th at 3 a.m. So currently at my time, it's 10 p.m. So it's running about 5 hours ahead. Makes sense because we're on daylight savings time. So this is running on UTC time. So if I take this and when we SSH'd into the system yesterday, which is the 23rd, so it would have been about here. So I wonder if it's still using that same one. So we're the only one logged into this system. Oh god, that's a lot. Local use PTY. So I don't see anything other than just local use and reboot. We're the only ones logged in. Ah, here we go. Valid starting at 22/19/51. Why is the date so weird on this? Oh, I think it's because that's the date that's in the ticket. So if we take that, we add 5 hours to it. That's 10/19. That would make it 3/19. It'd be... Now that doesn't make sense. Try pointing the curb5 CC name variable to it. We can try that. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's see. I think it is, yeah, KRB. Let me see. So currently it's set to that one right there. We could try changing it though. Export. Let's do this. I don't think this will work because it should be read as our current user. But I'd be willing to give it a try. Let's see. Actually, hang on. Let me check something real quick. Which K list? Well, K list is a SUID binary, so let's go try it. Incorrect file name. Damn you. Let me try this again real quick. Make sure I didn't screw this up. Let's see. Let's try this one first. Let me do it like this. Okay, so that one didn't work. We'll try some of these other ones real quick. Yeah, didn't like that one. I didn't think this was going to work, but you know what? I've seen dumber things happen. Let's go give it a shot. Yeah. Unfortunately, did not like that. So hold on, let me go restore this value because I don't know what that's going to do. So unfortunately, we don't have like CrackMap or NetExec set up on this system. And if we can't K-list it, we don't have any permissions to the file, right? And let me just, for validation's sake, right? If I do K-list, if I unset KRB5CC name and I run K-list, no credentials set. So yeah. That kind of validates it in there. Can I reboot this box? I'm curious. What was the other one? I think it's login control. Reboot. I thought you could reboot with login control. Maybe I'm mistake on. What else could we do with this? Short of running linpeas on it. I don't want to just go run linpeas. Actually, I'm curious about something now. Hang on. I was curious if anybody made a linpeas BOF. Because so that I might be willing to go try it. Let me check something else real fast here. So, the sudo service, I think we had write permissions to that, right? Did I make a note of that? Let me see. No, but we should have it over in Mythic. Hang on. Let's see. Where is our task? Where was that? The flashbang. No, that's not it. Search files. There we go. Let's see. Task. Task. Where are you? Search for sudo. Let's see. So the sudo service, we had read and write permissions to it. So if we could see that if anything is dependent on the sudo service, maybe we don't need to access it directly, but maybe we could get something else to use it. So let's go look for that real quick. Let's see. Shell. I want to grep recursively for sudo. Let's see. I don't need that. Sudo in etc systemd in the system directory. Anything in there? Nothing. What about, what was the other one here? Oh wait, that was not the correct one. That was... Why is this thing being dumb? Hang on. I think the file browser's being dumb too. There we go. So that was in etc systemd, but there was another one in there. It was user lib systemd. Let's go check in there. So user lib systemd. Okay. So we've got a couple things showing up in here. Hold on, let me zoom this back in. Hang on, I'm gonna go run. That's fine. So where do we see sudo required in here? There's also the SSSD sudo service. Oh, that's what's throwing it off. Yeah, so everything's showing up in here. Yeah, everything showing up in here is related to... Now, let me double check that real quick. Make sure I'm not missing something real fast here. Let's see. Come back over here. Yeah. So all these are in relation to SSSD, right? Ubuntu Advantage does sudo system control stop, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, so that's all SSSD stuff in there. See that? So unfortunately, what that means is there's nothing that's using that sudo service, so we couldn't potentially try to force something to restart and then as a requirement to it, like a subservice, spin it up and kick it off for us. So if we could have written something over to the sudo service and then found another service that had a dependency of it and kicked it off, we'd have been good. But that is unfortunately not the case. Damn. I was so hopeful. Let's see. There was also, there was another one in there. Hang on. In system here, there were quite a few that we had. Were there any that we had write access to? Because they're all owned by root. Those are all links, so those don't work for us. Let's see. We looked at the PHP sessions service clear. I think we can do a find on this. Hang on one second. Let's do find. I think it's tack right. Is it writable? Ah, dang it. Hang on, what is it? Find. Right. I gotta remember what it is. Oh, I'm missing some stuff in here. There we go. So find in here. We gotta specify that it's a file, and then tac writerable. No, writable. Writable? Is that what it is? I misspelled it? Oh, there we go. Oh, dang it, I'm a dummy. Hang on. I'm doing this in like the completely wrong order here. Because that's where I want to do it. So find in there. Let's see. Type, and then writable. Okay, nothing in there is writable. Hey, Kizzers, what's up, man? All right, Kizzers, I have to point out the rules of the chat. And the rules are make sure and I don't remember what the entire rules are. But one of them is everybody in chat is a Fed. And the rule immediately after that is don't talk about anything illegal. See previous rule. So, just FYI. So, unfortunately, no, I cannot help you with that request. No, see, and you don't want any help from anybody in chat because, like I said, the rule is everybody in chat is a Fed. So congratulations, actually, because you're in chat, you are now a Fed. Yes, Chris, you are now a Fed too. How come I can't believe nothing in here is writable? Wasn't the pseudo service in here? Yeah. There was another one in here. It was like screen something. Yeah, screens cleanup and then what about like X11? Yeah. So you're saying someone's accessing your Xbox and Hotmail account. And so did you lose access to that account? Okay. Unfortunately, I don't think there's too many ways to work with that. Microsoft has not been super helpful with that in the past. And to be quite real with you, if anybody had that ability in here, they probably wouldn't burn it on getting your Xbox account back because that would be actually a very, very expensive exploit. So you're able to get it on an Xbox. Let me ask you this. Can you check your email on your Xbox? Or better yet, does your Hotmail have a backup account saved on it? Let me check something real quick. Yeah, that's usually why I would recommend. Actually, Crizzer, if you have, I think you can get Outlook on an Xbox, or even if you're actually no, take it back. You have a web browser on the Xbox. Try opening the web browser, go to Hotmail, and see if it will let you log in there. Because it may do, if you're lucky, it may do like a basically like an authentication pass through and automatically log you in to your Microsoft account. Yeah, there's no promises on that because I don't have an Xbox. It depends on how the Xbox is set up. Truth be told, what you're really running when you're running Xbox is you're running something called a Hyper-V virtual machine. Hyper-V is Microsoft's particular brand of virtualization software, and it will also run like a miniature Windows virtual machine, if I remember correctly, and it's basically like letting you talk between the two of them when you do that. Don't quote me on that. I think that's how it's set up. By the way, guys, since I started the stream about 15 minutes late, we'll go about an extra 30 minutes. I was helping Sock take care of some stuff real quick before the stream started. Let's see. Now, this is the pseudo one in user lib systemd, but there was another one in here. It was in Etsy systemd system. Oh, no, where was the other one in there? Let's see. Find names. Hang on, let me find it real quick. Sudo.service dev null. Oh, so you're waiting on an email from Microsoft support? Okay. Hopefully going to a different email. Hopefully that goes through for you, man, because that was the only thing I could think of that might work. Let me check something else real quick in here, because I believe I had it over in the other one here. Can we change that symlink? Could we symlink it to something else? Because it's currently symlinked to dev null, right? So this was the pseudo service, right? It's currently symlinked over to dev null. Hold on, what is this YouTube video? Let me check it out real fast. I'm sorry, Cruiser. I'm hoping Microsoft support's going to be able to help you out with that. Typically, what I recommend to everybody is you should be using MFA to something on your phone that's not a text message. So something like what's called an OTP, a one-time, or a TOTP, temporary one-time password. It's a 6-digit number that rotates on a predictable pattern. And you can sync that to your phone. And then when it prompts you for it, you can pull your phone out. You can double check it. That also comes with backup code, something you'd want to write down and keep in a secure place. Because then if something happens to your phone, you lose it, you could go pull out one of those backup codes and burn it one time. They usually give you like 6 or 10 and get back into it. But then also have like a secondary recovery email that you could send it to. Someone that you trust, or just a second email that you control. Then if you lose access to that one account, you could bring it back over to, you could use that as the recovery email for like doing password resets and whatnot. I'm really sorry that's happening to you, man, because I think that same thing kind of happened to I want to say maybe my Hotmail back in the day. I haven't used Hotmail in probably, I don't know, 20 years. It's been a minute. Basically since Gmail came out. Let me check again real quick here. So yeah, so for W, we're not showing anybody else logged in here. Did they give you a particular time they're going to call, Cruiser? Because unfortunately, if they're depending on where their support is based, if it's based in the US, tomorrow is a federal holiday called Memorial Day. So they may not even get back to you that fast. As much as I hate to tell you that. Oh, so you can call them. Okay. What else could we do with this? Bad news doesn't get better with age. No, it does not. Most bad news ages like milk, not wine. I'm half tempted to go reboot the range. Because it has been up for a while. If there was something that was supposed to be running on there that maybe died and it didn't work. Oh! Talisman overflowed the buffer. He crashed it. I should put a tracker in there for how many times someone has crashed the buffer. Hang on. Oh, I don't know where any of my sticky notes went. Sock stole them all. Hang on. I know what I'll do. Let's see. Add user crash. Let's see. Crash buffer counter. There we go. I'll see if I can work on that maybe tomorrow night. I'll add it into this. Because that'd be cool, like, if it does it, I could have a streamer bot trigger a message that says you've crashed the buffer X number of times. Yeah. Here, I'll show it to you real quick. It looks like this. Let's see. This is the easiest way to do it. Where is it? I'll do it. I'll do a fake sub. That'll do it. Here.
Welcome, agent.
That's what it does. I thought about trying to make it do more, like have like little like hex digits like rain out of it, like down onto the screen. So they pop up here and just like rain down. Maybe I'll add that in too. All right, hang on. Let me make a note of that. Let's see. Add hex digit rain across the screen or buffer overflow. There we go. Like sparks. Hey, Bobby. Lin P's not possible here. We're trying hard mode. We're doing it hard mode, man. Because you know me. I like it hard. What's up, dude? Happy Sunday, man. Yeah, basically, I was thinking like what would happen is up here, the bit buffer is after it overflows, like little sparks of hex characters would like flow, like basically pop out of the screen and like start raining across it, like sparks flying out of a blown capacitor. That's right. Don't hold back, Chris. Let the giggity flow through you. Giggity. Hang on, I'm gonna go over to the Proxmox server real quick, and let's see, where's GOAD? There it is. Server 1, I'm gonna restart it. Yeah, reboot server 1, and I'm gonna reboot the DC. Just to see like if it will maybe change behavior in here. Maybe there's something that's supposed to have been happening like on a regular cycle and the cycle's broken. We should be seeing something else. I'm not sure. Especially now that we know that... what the hell's his name? Rhaegal? Yeah, so since we know that Rhaegal is the actual Linux administrator here, so if we could find some way to compromise Rhaegal's account, like since he's an admin, right? He should, in theory, be talking to... what is that? To Cyrax. That's the name of the server. But we don't see any action or any proof that Rhaegal's been talking to the server. So maybe he works from server 1 or he works from the DC and he's a bad admin. I don't know. But we're going to reboot those. Maybe we'll see if we get additional activity happening. Just delete the sim link and try to recreate it. That's another possible way we could do it. It doesn't seem like it's possibly in the spirit of this one, though. I'll keep that in my back pocket. What I didn't want to do is go through something like Dirty Frag or Copy Fail, even the Snapd exploit that we're pretty sure might be vulnerable in here. I think that was an artifact of the lab template, not actually what was the intended escalation path. So I'm trying to find out where Mayfly actually wanted to go with this. So there's a little bit of Sherlock Holmesing happening here. Yes, we're going to try harder. That's what we're doing. All right, those servers should be back up now. Let me double check it real quick. Hang on. Console. Okay, so it's up. It's doing something, right? I'm not going to go digging through it, but we see that it's got a PowerShell script over here running, doing something. So we don't see anybody else in here. Let's see. So all we see is we see Sunfire, we see Reboot, and we see a lot of local use happening here. Let's go look in the temp directory again. All right, so no changes in our Kerberos data here. So having any permissions on the sudo service is intentional? Maybe. I mean, we can try that. Let's see. Let me look at that real quick. Let's see. Yeah, so that was in here. Let me look at something on here real quick. We don't have write permissions into that system folder. So we wouldn't be able to recreate the symlink. I don't think. I don't know, maybe we could. We have permissions to that particular one. See, this is what I'm looking at. Like, we don't have write permissions here, right? Sorry, it should be like right here. But if we look at the sudo service here, right? So these two together is what I'm curious about. I'm not sure how those are going to interact. Hey, Hats, what's up, man? Hello, fellow feds. I can't think now. Now you've got me thinking about the Steve Buscemi meme. Hello, fellow feds. Working hard or hardly risen? Yeah. I'm pretty sure we won't be able to recreate that symlink. It's a red herring. Let's see. Let me double check Viserion again real quick here. Let's see. I don't think he's Kerberoastable because he doesn't have an SPN set. Let me see. Do I have my ImPacket suite set up? I think I do. Get users SPNs. Okay. Let me get the credentials for this real quick. Let's just double check it real quick. Let's see. Where's creds? Here we go. There's our creds. Let's just double check that. Yeah, so that should be the creds that we want. DC IP will be 10.4.10.10. Oh, this should be Sunfire at let's see, Dracar. Oh god, it's hard to type this. Dracarys.lab. I did. Didn't I? Oh, I know what I did. It needs to be a // not a \\. Yeah, that's what I thought. What about, do we have get NP users? Yeah, we do. All right, hang on. Let me try that one real quick. Let's see. Get NP users.py. Yeah, nothing found there. Because I was pretty sure we already checked that. That's checking for Kerberoastable accounts. That's checking for AS rep roastable accounts. Dead end. Kind of figured that. That's pretty low hanging fruit. And he said this was a challenge lab. So, not surprised. Can we check the ACLs on Viz's account? Yeah, let's go check it real quick. Let's see. Let's see. Hang on. Net exec. Let's see. Yeah, we do that with LDAP. Nope, that's not it. Hang on. This is the one I want. Let's back this thing up. Love backing a good thing up. Let's see. Filter, and then what did you say for the filter? Yeah. Sam account name equals Visceri. Viscer Ion. There we go. Oh, I think module. I think this is supposed to be lowercase. Let's see. Crack Map has that. I'm not sure if. Oh, did I misspell filter? Damn it. Oh, it's a different one. In Crack Map, it's Dackle Read. Daco target equals Viscer Ion. Action. Read. Ooh, here we go. We got a lot of stuff in here. Oh, there's so many. What filters on my mind? I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet. I just want to see what we've got in here. Bog suggested it, so I was like, okay, let's go take a look. So these should have shown up in Bloodhound also. Let's see. A lot of these are showing up as like, hey, principal self, things like that. I'm trying to see if he's got access to any other SIDs that we might be able to take a look at. That's the trustee for domain admins. Let's see. Oh, this one's throwing me off because it's wrapping around here. Let's see. Trustee, local system. There's like 40 of these. If we had generic all permissions, Viserion should have showed up in his outbound object controls. Right? Actually, let's go look at something real quick. Let's go grab Vagar's Sid real quick. I want to try something. Alright, so there's Vagar's Sid right there. Grep. I want to grep for that Sid real fast. Because I think it would have shown up in here. Let me see. Let me get the 10 after and the 10 before this. And then let me go grab Vagar Sid, because we should see this, I think, in the ACL. Did I not do the grep right? Hang on. I think it has to go at the end here. Oh no, I'm an idiot. It's not coming up in here. So what you really need is reset password, generic all, generic right password, right DACL. Yeah, that's what these edges are showing up in Bloodhound. Let me see if I can find right SPN in here, if I grep for that. Let me see, what does that show up as? Dumas, what's up, dude? Why not save the results to file and open it in a text editor? Because that would be too easy. That would be far too easy. We're doing this on hard mode, ultra hard mode. Let's see. DACLs.txt. That would be far too easy. Far too easy. Oh, there's so much in here. Let's see. Hang on one second. I gotta fix something here. Toolbar, get rid of that. Find SPN. $31 matching rights in here. What was that? Vagar? No. Just do it in MS Paint. It'd probably be more efficient, Rabbit. Well, let me look at something else real fast in here, because I believe it may tell us where... Yeah, so this is showing up in the ACL there. For some reason, it's just not showing up for Viserion. Oh, you know why? I think it's because it's the target in here. So targets who we want to check. Do we have to specify a target? Can we just do action read and get them all? Actually, I take that back. I don't want to do that. I want to... Because the target, I'm an idiot. the target isn't Viserion. He's the source. Our target is the Hagar. That's what it is. Hang on. Let me see if that comes up. Yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted. All right. Send that to dackles.txt. Because that's the target of the ACL, so that's what we wanted to check. Yeah, reload. Okay, now search for SPN. Trustee, that is domain admins. Here we go. So yeah, this was the... And so we already saw this over in Bloodhound, but this is good confirmatory data, right? So what we're seeing here is allowed object, access allowed object, access control entry. That's what ACE is. Right property, validate SPN here, and the trustee for that was Viserion. So that's where his right SPN permission comes from in there. Oh, we did do a full collection on it, but we're using a very, very low privileged account. So essentially, it's only getting whatever it can out of LDAP as a low priv account. Let me try one more thing here, actually. Those ACLs won't show if you or your group has access to reset his password. Well, it should have shown up because reset password will show up in here, and it would show up as an inbound control, right? So if I come back over to Viserion, right, and I come over to inbound object control right here. So for example, account operators has generic all to him. So that includes like reset password. So we would see that in here as a reset password edge. But everything over here is just showing up as like generic all, local user, ignore that. Administrator is a member, so it's got, oh God, my mouse is going nuts. So yeah, we would see like reset password show up as an edge in here. Let me check something. I think there might be one in the built-in cipher queries too. Maybe that one. Yeah, I didn't think he had laps set up in here. Let's see. No, there's no edge showing up in here for that. Let me see. Wow, what was the... I'm trying to remember where it is. Let's see. Bloodhound, cipher query, database. What was that called? Here we go. The Bloodhound query library. Search for reset. Well, that's for Okta. Let's see. Hold on. There's another. We could probably just spin up a cipher query for this real quick. So let's do this. Let's go back here. So we'll do match where anything. And we'll do an edge of let me try password in here. There's force change password. Let's see. Oh, there's a whole bunch in here that have generic all permissions. The problem is the ones that have the generic all is like the local user, which is basically a backdoor account. We don't want to use that. Administrators, Drogon, who's a domain admin, which is probably going to be like the end of the attack chain. Administrators, account operators. So none of these groups are basically like customized to the lab. They're all defaults. Where's the Linux users group? It's not in here. Actually, hold on. Let me see if I can find something real quick. Yeah, it's forced password change is the one in here. So hold on, let's come back to this. Let me try this real quick. So match any node that has a forced password change going to any other node. Nope. Nope. It's weird that it's doing that. Let's see. Oh, I need to mark this. This will be, we'll do S for like the source, and then I want to return S. Yeah, so nobody has that forced password change edge in there. Oh, damn, I just noticed what time it is. Let's see. So there's two Linux groups in here, right? Linux admins, Linux users. So Linux admins, if we look at their outbound permissions, right? Actually, it's not even showing like who they are in here. Let's see. It just shows us who our members are. If we look at the inbound object control, it's pretty much all the same. Standard built-in stuff, and then Drogon. We could also take a look at Regal here. Regal. And if we look at, he doesn't have any outbound permissions in here. So there's got to be something in here. Hold on, let me look at something real fast. There's got to be something odd happening in here. Because when was Regal's last login? Let me see something here. Last login was 524 at 2146 at GMT -4. So that would be 2246, which is 1046, which I think is when I rebooted that system. It kind of lines up with it a little bit. Accounting for a little bit of clock skew in here. That's about the time we rebooted the server. Maybe I'll message Mayfly, be like, hey man, here's where I'm at, and here's where I think it's supposed to go. Just to get a little bit of a hint from him. Because I'm trying to follow his path for it, but he didn't put out any information about the walkthrough on it. I mean, if we really wanted to be jerks, what we'd do is we'd come over and we'd dirty frag or copy fail LX01. It should be vulnerable to both. And then once we had that, we could start rummaging through the rest of the server. But I know that's not the actual way to go about it. So I'm kind of chilling on it a bit. All right, unfortunately, guys, I do need to wrap up for tonight because it is that time. And because of my sleeping situation, if I stay up late, Sock will probably murder me in my sleep. So let's go check InfoSec streams and see who's on that we might be able to go right over to. And sure enough, we are the only true late night hackers on, unfortunately. Yeah. Thank you, Bog. I liked all your suggestions. They're all very good ideas. They're always things that are worth checking out. That's the hard part of a lot of this is There's a lot of data to keep track of. Granted, I'm taking really half-assed notes because it's a CTF, but going through and correlating data and tracking it is always one of the biggest challenges. And keep in mind too, this is death by snoo. Damn it, Foil. What is going on in YouTube, man? I don't get what's going on that side. Sorry, I'm getting distracted because the YouTube stream is constantly just eating shit. That fixes it real quick. This has been fun to watch. I'm glad, man. So did you just finish your CPTS or are you studying for it? Whatever it is, I didn't do it. Is the stream running okay, Hats? Let me know, because you're the only one actually watching on YouTube. Just got the cert package? Wait, so you just passed it? Because that's awesome. Fun exam, but the reporting was a bitch. That's still killer, though, dude. Congratulations. Knocking that out. What I tell folks is, hey, when you're first trying to kind of get into offensive security, your certifications they're important, but they're not the end all be all, right? Understanding the material really is like the massive thing. So you do want to understand that. However, the certifications are important in the beginning of your career, and then as you progress, they become less and less important. Okay, I'm glad it's running well for you because it's on my side, it's showing that it's running like dog shit. So that worries me. Let's see. All right. Who can we go right over to? Nerduino is on. He's doing history of jet propulsion laboratories. Oh, you know what? Maybe we'll go right over to Hectic. She's doing Arc Raiders right now, but she is also in cybersecurity, and she usually is streaming like chill out games. Oh, wait, hold on. What's Rob doing? Rob is online. Hang on. Oh, no. Rob just went offline. Damn. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Look, maybe we go right over to Hectic because, like I said, she is also in cybersecurity. She's just streaming Arc Raiders. She's funny, super chill person. So I'm trying to move from help desk to cyber, probably into blue team, at least to start with. Blue team is a good place to start with, especially if you want to go into... Also, hey, Rockford, what's up, dude? So if you want to... The traditional like evolution of a career... into going into offensive cybersecurity or even any cybersecurity team, right? It's usually like, hey, you start like help desk generalist, maybe as a network administrator if you've got a lot of strong network certifications, right? Or something in IT that's a little bit specialized, right? And then you move into like a finer and finer specialization, like it's your prestige class, like in a RPG, right? And so that's the way I kind of look at it as you're moving through it. So, and then plus you can take all that information and move through it. I'd say that's probably accurate for about 95% of people that are working in security, blue team or red team. The other 5% are people that they are just exceptionally talented. And when they made that jump, they had the intellect, they had the just natural knack for it. There's no discounting it. It's just some people have it. Those people are also like I said, the exception. They're about 5%, but they will have different struggles than someone else who went through the traditional path had. Because there's a lot of like almost tribal knowledge and seeing how the stuff gets built and broken that they have not seen yet. So there's a little bit of a difference there. All right, guys, I do got to wrap it up. Hold on. Where's the button there? I am so glad everybody came out to it. Look at this. I'm going to message Mayfly and be like, hey, man, I'd like a hint without giving away the plot on how this is going to work. Because I wanted to make sure we're going down the correct path. There's a lot of weird paths we could take. I don't want to. I want to go down the right path. I want to follow the lab as he intended it, right? I want to stick to the main storyline. So we're going to go right over to Hectic. Do me a favor, guys. When you get there, drop a bunch of Hack the Planets and Happy Hackers. I will catch all of y'all Wednesday night because that'll be Hacker News. If you've got any cool news stories that you want to cover, drop them up in the Discord. ! Discord will get you a link to join the Discord channel. And yeah, just drop them in there. We'll cover them on Wednesday night. We have a great time heckling and reading and sometimes crying about the impending AI apocalypse. It's a good time. I will catch all of y'all Wednesday. Tomorrow, if you're in the States, have a very happy Memorial Day. Double up family and friend time so you can double up crushing it mode, 2x multiplier for Tuesday. And with all that said, I want to tell y'all one thing that I absolutely mean every time I say it from the bottom of my heart. I love you. Peace.